Hey everybody, I am back today. I'm actually lost with the date at this point, April 24th, 2020. We are or just finished week 6 of our mandatory furlough through the court. And so before anybody asks, I have no updates as it relates to if our furlough is going to be extended at this point in time. But as soon as I receive that update, I'll always post it on all of my sites and try to give you that information. I don't have tons to give you today, so I'm going to give you what I have and then be on my way. I do want to announce that we have reset our entire delinquency docket. So if your case was scheduled between March 16th and April 17th, I believe the date is, then it was done in one way, shape, or form. I have been communicating directly with the CMO supervisors. I did send a list out today of all the cases that were reset. If a case is not on that list, it was in fact closed. All of the entries have been made. I did respond in one email that it may take my clerk 2 weeks. However, Ms. Nunn is nothing short of amazing, and she has done all of that already. We have only been up since Tuesday of this week. So she has processed probably, if I had to guess, somewhere between 200 cases in about 4 days because we didn't, or maybe 5, we had to work Monday, but she's already done and it's only 1 o'clock on Friday. So I am so excited about that. I am honored and blessed to have Ms. Nunn on my team. If you have a case, before you send us an email, can you check Odyssey and make sure it's in the system? If by chance it was left off for some reason or another, then send Ms. Nunn or send me an email. But please check Odyssey first. All the orders through today are in the system. So if you had a case today, it is already in the system. We have already processed those orders. If you had a case between March 16th and April 17th, it has been reset or has been closed. Those orders are already in the system. If for some reason you don't see those orders, then by all means, send me an email or send Ms. Nunn an email. I also want to send a shout out to Darlene, who is my administrative assistant. Most of you probably see her coming in the back. But Darlene is the person who actually drafts all those orders. So while Ms. Pat is inputting the information with regards to those hearings, Ms. Pat is the person who is actually, Ms. Darlene is the person who is actually drafting every single order. And if you've ever done an order in Odyssey, it is not the easiest system, but she's doing an exceptional job. So I want to commend her too as a part of our team. We did go live this week for the first time on Tuesday morning. I think it's gone relatively well. We've had a couple of issues with connections and people not being able to get on, but overall, I thought it has gone relatively well. I also want to give a shout out to my court reporter, Ms. Dorch. Although we're recording via Zoom technology, I also have my court reporter present on that Zoom conference. And I'm excited to have her just in case there's a problem with the Zoom recording. I actually have my court reporter available. So that's amazing for me. And lastly, I want to shout out to Corporal Berry because nobody has seen him because we don't have court. But Corporal Berry was assigned to Wayne County Jail, of all places, since there's nothing to do in the courthouse. But I got to see him this morning. We did practice social distancing and all of that good stuff. But I got to see my corporal this morning, so I was real excited. Hey, Miss Dunn, Miss Burns, and Miss Janet. I got to see them. I got to see him today, so I was really excited about that because I knew he was in a jail, and I just wanted him to stay safe. So I think that's all I have. Everything we have is either closed out on the delinquency side or has been rescheduled. Check Odyssey before you send the email. And if you want to just send the email or a quick note to Miss Pat or to Miss Darlene in this particular case, that will be warranted as well because they have done an exceptional job. And I am proud to say we are the court that's gone up today or went up first. We are the court that has completed and rescheduled all of their delinquency hearings. And we are on task right now for the rest of our cases. With that being said, we are going to start working on our abuse neglect cases. We don't have approval to do them at this point. But given that our delinquency dockets are up, we do want to make that transition. So we do have to make that request to administration and to the chief. And once we get that approval, I'm going to be excited to go back into my abuse neglect cases, and I'm going to have to show some attention to that side. So I hope you all, the CMOs and everybody on the other side, doesn't get too jealous, but we got to get that side running too. Last announcement for my CMOs, hi, Crawford and Ms. Check. Last thing for my CMOs, reports are due 2 days in advance. Now, I know we're on a mandatory furlough and all that good stuff, but 2 days still counts as 2 days. I'm not sure what the days are anymore, but hopefully somebody's keeping up. I have printed every report that I have. I print those reports on Friday. I take them to my home office so I can do the cases Monday through Thursday from home, and I come in on Fridays to do them from the actual court building so I can prepare for the next week. So if you haven't turned in your report, can you please get those reports in? They are due at least 2 days in advance. But if you can get it in the Friday prior to the week that they're scheduled, that's even better because I can print them off and get them at home versus having them on my screen. And the other thing is, make sure you send them to Mr. Bethal, who is my prosecutor, and send them to the attorney of record so they have that information as well. I like to say we are a well-oiled machine at this point in time. And so we have so many other issues that we need to deal with on Zoom that we don't need to deal with the issue of court reports and things like that. I like the simplicity of emails. I don't want to try anything else. I am open to something else if somebody else realizes once the other dockets come up, there's something that's easier for them. But right now the emails are working for me. So just make sure everybody gets those things. I already talked about neglect cases. I'll make an announcement when we can start doing them. And the only question I had this week, so we're going to make this short and sweet, was with as it related to adoptions. We still have not received any word from adoptions. I told you last time I have one that I've signed that apparently is sitting somewhere over in the adoptions unit. And for whatever reason, the adoptions unit is not back up. I don't know if, when and if it will be back up. Well, I won't say if. It will be back up. I don't know when. I can always say I'm anticipating a continuation of the furlough, but then I can, it becomes the issue of who is essential. And as the furlough continues, more people will become essential to the process because we can't just shut the court down during this period of time. So we are in a position where we need to get some of our divisions moving. Just remember, though, as we're moving out these divisions, the court actually has 4 divisions. So it's not just juvenile court. We have to get the approval from the chief judge for our division, but he's over all 4 of them. So I try to respect that he has a lot on his plate, dealing with all 4 divisions, dealing with all 4 presidings, all 4 deputy court administrators. I can't imagine being in his position right now. We're dealing with, I deal with 1 courtroom. He's dealing with 60 or so judges, 4 divisions, 4 DCAs, 4 presidings, and then the public and the county, the court, the state, so on and so forth. So sometimes when we don't have the updates, it's because it's just a lot. And every division is pulling on the chief to get that approval. I'm always fighting to get the approval for the juvenile court because if you know me, you know I think and I firmly believe, and I think I should just make this fact, juvenile court is the most important division out of all of the divisions in the court because I think we service the most vulnerable, and that's our children. So we are always fighting to get our division up as quickly as we can. Ms. Check, I will get that information to you at a later date. And hi, Ms. Shillingford and Ms. Nelson. So those are all the updates that I have at this point. Delinquency is going well. We're caught up. Neglect is coming. Hopefully adoptions is going to follow suit pretty soon. But that's pretty much all I have to update. And given that I didn't have tons of questions, I'm guessing that maybe these are helpful and you have all the answers that you need at this point. For most people, you know how to reach me by email, by phone. I don't talk on it, but I do. I do like text messages. Those are pretty simple for me to deal with. And I'll try to get the information out. Obviously, I'll get them out on Fridays, but moving forward, I'll always post on social media sites as well to give you updates about what's happening as they happen. So with that, I hope that everybody is staying home. I hope nobody's going to accept any invitations to go outside, even if we are given that opportunity to do so. I think the longer we stay home, the shorter amount of time it will be before we get back into the courthouse. And I don't know about you, but I will never complain about going to work again, ever. So I hope everybody's staying home. I hope that you're staying safe. And if you're like me, I hope that you are staying sane during this time. That's all I have today. So thank you to everyone for tuning in again. And I will catch you next week as we do some more updates from Lincoln Hall of Justice. Thank you. And I hope everybody has an amazing weekend.